Welcome to Review Rewind, the show where a couple of friends watch movies of old and aim to figure out where the reviewer's spot on or a little off. I'm one of your hosts, Mike.
And I'm Tristan.
And this week, we're talking about Robin Hood Men in Tights. Tights. How you doing?
Good. Good, man. How are you?
I feel like there's going to be a bit of that happening throughout today.
You're probably right.
Alrighty. Well, let's just jump in. Directed by Mel Brooks, producer Mel Brooks, screenwriter Mel Brooks, J.D. Shapiro, Evan Chandler, production co. Gaumont, rating PG-13, genre comedy, release date July 28, 1993. So same year as Jurassic Park. Let's just keep that in mind. Or not. It really doesn't affect this in any way, shape, or form. Budget around $20 million. And it looks like it only came out in the US and made about $36 million. So not great. Not great. Shocking considering who was behind it, but there it is. Starring Cary Elwes. How do you say? Do you know how to say his name?
I think it's like Elwes.
Elwes. It's one of those UK names. Richard Lewis, Roger Rees, I'm assuming. Amy Yasbeck, Dave Chappelle, Isaac Hayes, and Tracey Ullman, which I did not. I'll get to that later. Anyway.
I'm curious how this compares to other Mel Brooks movies with the gross earnings and everything.
Let's find out. Because I think not great, simply because, and I make that assumption because this was his last big movie. There was Dracula, I don't know, Back from the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
And then he didn't do anything until The Producers, but he technically did that on Broadway many, many years prior. So I don't know. Spaceballs was $22 million budget and made about $40 million. It seems like his projects are very much recoups and then make lots and lots of money on home video.
Yeah.
History of the World was $11 million and it made about $32 million. And then his probably the most infamous of his, Blazing Saddles. There you go. $2,600,000 budget. Made about $120 million just in the U.S.
Yeah, that one and
Young
Frankenstein did well too.
Yeah,
but it seems like all of his other ones kind of came back at that 30 to 40.
Yeah, something happened. I don't know what.
Interesting.
Yeah, Young Frankenstein did really, really well. Maybe
times changed. Those were back in the 70s.
I'm sure we will talk about that in some way, shape, or form. But yes, I agree. Times have certainly changed. Speaking of, now we move on to the Recap Rewind, where we give you a recap of the plot. And we're just going to go ahead and dive right in. You know Dasher and Dancer, and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid, and Donner and Blitzen. But do you recall the most famous, most likely fictional, but possibly true, noble felon of them all? The story of Robin Hood is layered with racism, misogyny, ableism, and homophobia. Robin Hood Men in Tights is layered with racism, misogyny, ableism, and homophobia. Mel Brooks brings us a comedy that may have been the last of its kind. Honestly, he only really had one more film after this, and it's probably a good thing that it was his last of that. This has some of the charm of a typical Mel Brooks film, which aren't that typical. But it sort of falls apart at the seams because we have large men wearing tights, broken seams. Get it? We find Robin of Locksley, played by the delightful Cary Elwes, in a prison in Jerusalem, whilst on a mission for the Crusades. He then finds the voice of the Shaft theme song, Isaac Hayes, and yes, he is one bad mother. Shut your mouth. Playing an African character named A Sneeze. They work together to get out of prison filled with insensitive Arab stereotypes. But it's funny because one of the guards' name is Falafel. Ha, ha, ha. Robin promises to look after A Sneeze's son, Achu, when he returns to England. Robin swims back to England, and boy, are his arms tired, only to find that his castle has been repoed by the most New Jersey dad in England. He finds his blind servant? ? Blinken, spending a little too much time in the bathroom, and is reveals to Robin that all of Robin's family is dead. We learn that King Richard's dastardly New York brother, Prince John, played by Richard Lewis, has created chaos in the kingdom and brought these shortcomings to Robin. Robin finds a Chew, and they team up and stop John. He is also faced with the Sheriff of Rottingham, played by Roger Rees. They meet the very tall Little John, played by Eric Allen Kramer, who is preventing them from moving forward with their mission without paying the bridge toll. After a stick fight, not that kind, Little John is humbled and John is indebted to Robin. John introduces the gents to his knife-wielding buddy, Will Scarlett O'Hara, played by Matthew Preda. The gang gets to the castle and confront Prince John, where Robin comes face to face with Maid Marian, played by Amy Yasbeck. And they fall in love. But she is meant for someone special because she's got metal underwear with a lock. They kind of focus on this a lot, and it's like funny at first, and then it gets kind of pervy, and then it gets funny again, but then it goes right back to pervy, and it never leaves. Robin retreats and basically starts a militia with a bunch of idiots and degenerates. Oh, and they're all wearing tights. They had to fit in Mel Brooks somewhere, and so the militia is met with a rabbi who gives them wine and circumcisions, but I don't actually think a lot of them partake in that. Prince John, worried about Robin ending his rule, turns to the Italian mafia, led by Don Giovanni, played by the absolutely perfect Dom DeLuise. They plan to have a competition that Robin will not be able to resist. Marian hears of these plans and goes to warn Robin. They flirt, he sings a song, they get close, then they get interrupted. It's a whole thing. But Prince John was right. Robin cannot resist a competition, especially if it's archery, which it was. Robin goes disguised and competes. He makes it to the final round and is defeated. Yes, the great Robin of Locksley lost until he checks the script, and he didn't lose because he gets one more shot. And he uses a missile, which is kind of cheating, but somehow he still wins. He's arrested. Marian promises to marry the sheriff if he lets Robin go. But as the wedding happens, the sheriff puts Robin in a rope around his neck. The militia is able to save Robin, but the sheriff kidnaps Marian and tries to it's not great. It's not a good thing. I didn't really enjoy that. Robin beats him, and Robin and Marian are wed. but only before the return of King Richard, or only after, sorry, I wrote that wrong. Only after the return of King Richard, played by Sir Patrick Stewart, who takes the throne back from John and arrests him, and also kisses Marion for some really weird reason. Robin and Marion wed and live happily ever after. Oh, P.S. I forgot to mention that Robin has a key to Marion's panty lock. Or does he? P.P.S. Cary Elwes kept staring directly into camera in a really creepy, weird way, and I don't actually think they ever explain it, and it's a really odd choice. P.P.P.S. This is not a great movie. The end. I did not look forward to writing this, because the whole time, once the movie ended, I was like, I think that movie's bad. Like, it's bad in a lot of ways. Like, there's a bit of, and we're going right into the movie overall. Mm-hmm. There are definitely funny things. Uh-huh. But I think those funny things are contained in the choices of some of the actors and not necessarily the jokes that are written.
Yes.
Dom DeLuise was hilarious. Like, I was laughing the entire time he was on screen. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like, I didn't understand a word. And he was like, I just went to the dentist. And he pulls out the cotton balls and it's like, yeah. Perfect. That is a solid joke. That's great. Was that planned? I don't know. But he played it well. Mm-hmm. The Clint Eastwood character was an interesting touch. It's very funny. Yeah. The guy that does it, his nephew or whoever it is, the guy who just doesn't, that whole
Filthy Luca.
Yeah, that whole aspect of the movie was great. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I don't think. I think Cary Elwes was the right person for the job. Mm-hmm. I don't think they used him the right way. All of
in what way?
He's not charming. Robin Hood and Cary Elwes are very charming people. Or at least we're supposed to feel that.
Right.
How he acts in this, he's not charming at all.
Right. He's kind of a doofus.
He's kind of a doofus. He's kind of unlikable because all of his none of his motives really make sense. He contradicts himself constantly within his motives, and just his acting choices are really weird. Like he incessantly breaks the fourth wall. Incessantly.
I don't think that is that I don't think that was his choice.
No, sorry.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm saying this in the context
from the character.
Well, not even the character. It's a directorial choice. Yeah. And I don't like that choice.
Which, like, this, I think this movie had basically all of Mel Brooks's, like, this movie is the best of. Right. In the terms of, like, you have breaking the fourth wall multiple times by looking at the camera. You have breaking the fourth wall by acknowledging that it's a movie multiple times. Those are all great. And so, I mean, it's something that he does all the time. Right. And so. But it's also something that he has to do. He has gotten away with and has done well in the past. This time, I feel as though it was done poorly. Rewatch just the first 10 minutes and watch Cary Elwes' eyes. How he looks at the camera
is so awkward. And yes, he is breaking the fourth wall, but there's also something to how he looks at other characters. And it just doesn't make any sense at all. They don't explain it. They don't mention it as like a character flaw or something like that. It's just he looks at them with this weird, creepy, borderline sadistic look. But it's also, he's very like British or whatever. And so you feel like you don't. Princess Bride, we saw that he can play comedy, but he's also a very accomplished actor. He did really well in that. This feels like they did everything they could to prevent him from doing those things.
Yeah. No, I think this movie, like it attempts to be overly aware of itself. And I think that's the thing. Like, obviously Spaceballs was a parody of Star Wars. But his other movies weren't necessarily parodies of other things.
No, I disagree with that. Because Blazing Saddles is a parody of spaghetti westerns as a whole.
True, but it's not a parody of a specific movie.
This one is a parody of Robin Hood.
I know, that's what I was getting at. Like, his movies are parody.
Right. Satire.
Spaceballs
is definitely parody. This one
is a parody specifically about a bad movie.
Right.
And so I think they just like the whole movie feels like, hey, we're making fun of this movie.
Right.
Where Spaceballs, while parody, wasn't making fun of necessarily Star Wars. It was just like, hey, let's do our own silly, dumb Star Wars kind of thing. This one was like, let's just tear this movie apart. That was horrible.
Right.
And so I think because they're so self-aware of it, it was like, yeah, let's not take it seriously. But I know what you mean. I think the way they went about doing the not taking it seriously is kind of combating what you're talking about.
Yeah, I think you're right. I disagree with the choice to do it that way in a lot of ways, because I think you can do a really good movie where people don't take it too seriously. I think that's totally possible. This goes the extreme to where there's just aspects of it that are bad.
Right.
And, it's kind of hard because Roger Rees is really fun in the movie. And he's the one he's the sheriff of Nottingham.
Yes. Rottingham. Right.
Rotting. And he is quite funny because he totes the line of straight man and the comedy. Because he has the impediment where, he can't say what he's trying to say. He really. So, for those who don't know, I will put it up right now. Hold on. In 1991, a movie came out, a drama, mind you, a serious movie called Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, starring Kevin Costner, who we have talked about in this podcast, and he seems to be the douchiest douchebags of all the douche. Like, he just doesn't seem like a great guy. But he plays Robin of Locksley. He is supposed to be an Englishman. And from time to time, he speaks...
He has that weird, like, sort of accent, right?
Yeah, like it's kind of an accent, but kind of not. This whole movie, it was directed by Kevin Reynolds, who also did Waterworld. We have talked about him before. Count of Monte Cristo, Risen. What a jerk. And then written by John Watson, who did Backdraft. Oh, he produced Tank Girl. That's a weird movie. I also kind of like it, but it's a weird movie. Actually, I'm not going to say that. I might be lying. It might be garbage. I don't remember. He wrote...
Not a lot.
Not a lot. So taking a risk on that guy. And then Penn Densham. I don't want to say that too awful, but I think I butchered it quite well. Writer of... Same thing, man. Not a whole lot of... Wow. They took a giant risk on these people. So they wrote, both of them together, their writing team, they wrote The Zoo Gang, which came out in 1985. It has a 5.1 on IMDb, and then a gnome named Norm. Which got a 4.5, and then they got Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. What a jump. What an absolute hop. Congrats, guys. I hope they made a lot of money. So we have this movie that is written by a bunch of no ones, directed by, I guess, a director. We've already rated his work not necessarily the best, but here's the thing. What a cast. What an absolute cast. Kevin Costner. Oh, wait, screw that guy. But Morgan Freeman, Mary Elizabeth Mastriano, which in the early 90s, huge get. Christian Slater, Alan Rickman.
Yeah.
Jeez. Geraldine McEwen, and just a bunch of other people.
I think Nick Brimble was pretty big.
Yes, a lot of people who were pretty big in the early 90s and 80s. And so you have Robin Hood, you have, his sidekicks. Friar Tuck was actually in this one. And it's just garbage. Like, it is so bad. Alan Rickman had to have known and just overdoes it the entire time. Have you seen this movie?
It's been a while, but yeah.
The only thing I remember is Kevin Costner sucks.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a good story. And then Alan Rickman is... Oh, gosh. What was the other movie that we watched where everyone was serious, but there was one person... Oh, I think I watched it was
Waterworld, right? Where everybody was serious except for the bad guy?
Yes. And that's the same for maybe that's Kevin Costner's thing, but Alan Rickman is just doing like opera type acting.
Yeah. It's been a while since I watched it, but I do remember being like, what is going on with Alan Rickman in this movie?
He did an old fashioned Dennis Hopper. He's just crazy. And so
I wonder if that's a Kevin Reynolds like director trope. Like his bad guys are just like cartoonishly crazy.
Yeah. Cuz
I don't know.
He is. And so they take a lot of the stuff from from this movie. So like Will Scarlett O'Hara they're just making a joke off of Will Scarlett. There's a witch in this one, and Tracey Ullman plays the witch, and she's so creepy and so funny. Just so weird.
So I think I'm curious.
Yeah.
Because this movie is so directly, like, in some cases, almost shot for shot parodying Prince of Thieves.
Right.
Like, I wonder if the weird look that Cary Elwes has is making fun.
Does this mean we have to watch Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves?
We might need to, and just like come back and be like, okay, we retract everything we've said.
You know what? This movie might actually be secondhand very funny upon reviewing Prince of Thieves.
That's the thing. I wrote that down. Is this movie is funnier after knowing the bad movie. I would never recommend anybody watch Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, unless you were watching it to appreciate what this movie is.
Well, and
even more.
So we have the silly joke of Isaac Hayes plays a sneeze and Dave Chappelle plays a chew. Stupid joke. But in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, Morgan Freeman plays a character named Azim.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of jokes that if you look on its own, you're like, well, that's inappropriate, or why are you giving this African character, a chew or a sneeze, kind of like, these kind of names. And now, because it's been a while since I've seen it too, now I just think they're just making fun of, like, directly.
And everything is
Prince of
making
Thieves,
fun of this movie.
And Prince of Thieves might be way worse than I remember it. I remember it being really bad.
Yeah.
But how they're mocking it, and like you said, at some points, frame for frame.
Yeah. And I think that's a good word to use. This movie is more than just parody. It is mocking.
Yes.
Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
So
like everything in it is just direct mockery. I mean, they look at the camera and say, unlike other Robin Hoods, I can speak with a British accent.
Right.
Like they are tearing this movie apart.
Yes. Did you hear the background? Oh wait, go ahead. Finish your thing, because mine is slightly off topic.
I was gonna say that line in other countries was written, or like the translation was different, but every single line is making fun of Kevin Costner in some way.
That's fantastic. Oh my gosh, that's so good. So in all the dubbings, they couldn't necessarily, the joke wouldn't land. They couldn't say, at least I could speak in a British accent.
Exactly.
But they did something to dig into Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
That is so, I love when dubbing takes liberties to keep a joke going.
Yeah.
Because some things don't translate. I saw the Avengers it dubbed. And I forget, it had to have been in Spanish, but it was the line where the secret U.S. government deciders or world deciders, they're really spooky. They were sending the nuke out, and Samuel L. Jackson, Nick Fury responds with like, I heard your idea. I just thought it was a stupid ass idea, and I'm ignoring it.
Yeah.
And in English, that fits perfectly. In our U.S. culture, we all understand that. There's no confusion. But how they did it in Spanish, it like skipped over that completely and was just like a dry line. And I was like, the world's really missing out.
Yeah.
What I was going to say, because we were talking about how this is like this aims to make a mockery of Prince of Thieves. That seems to be the aim. It's as though Mel Brooks watched that movie and was just mad, and then wrote this movie.
Yeah. So,
did you ever hear about the production or the production prep for Team America?
No.
World Police. So Team America was I don't know, 2003, 2004. No, maybe earlier than that. It was after 9/11. That's all I know. Anyway, it was a movie made by the guys who made South Park, completely done in marionette dolls.
2004.
2004. Oh, that was really close. Oh, no, I think I said 2004. Play it back. Yep. And their original plan, the reason they started doing this whole thing was because they watched The Day After Tomorrow, whatever that post-apocalypse, whatever the snow movie. Is it Jake Gyllenhaal who's in it?
Yeah, I think so.
And what they originally wanted to do, which obviously they couldn't do it, was they were going to spend as much money as possible to buy the script for The Day After Tomorrow and do the entire movie exactly the same, but with marionette dolls and them doing the voices for it, because they were just like, it's such a bad movie that marionettes would be the only thing to make it better.
Yeah.
Like, they hated the movie so much that they were like, we will redo it with marionettes. But they couldn't get the script, and they already got the production green light to do something like that. And so they were like, well, now we got to write a thing. Now we got to write a movie. Shoot. Alrighty. So I know we talked about it a little, but what did you think of the movie overall?
Real quick, since we talked about it, I just want to share, in German, they say, unlike other Robin Hoods, I do not cost the producers $5 million.
Oh,
and the word kosten in German was pronounced to sound a little bit more like Costner. In French and Italian, they say, unlike other Robin Hoods, I do not dance with wolves.
Zing.
Unlike other Robin Hoods, I accept to wear tights because Costner didn't wear tights in his. And then Hungarian.
Oh, men in tights. Oh, my God.
Hungarian, this one, because unlike Kevin Costner, I have a shapely bottom. Because Costner used a body double.
Oh, right, because there's a scene of his butt. Yeah.
So.
Oh my gosh, that's great. Let's whatever award he got for Dancing with Wolves, let's just take it from him and give it to that Hungarian team that did that. That's so fun.
So okay, I need to acknowledge that what you're saying about this movie is there are some things that are not great about it, and I'm not a huge Mel Brooks fan. A lot of his stuff is I don't enjoy as much. Right. I enjoy parts of it, but it's hit and miss for me. Mm-hmm. This is probably my favorite one of his works, but that's probably because it's the one that I've seen the most. It was the one that was on TV all the time. We watched it whenever it was on whatever syndicated television run it was. So it's the one that I'm most I'm super familiar with it. Right. So I have a lot of nostalgia for this movie. Yeah. And so I was worried that other movies that we've watched where we've gone back and watched and been oh no, this is bad. This one, I think there's always a sense of the things that Mel Brooks does, it's always bad.
Right.
He's doing things that are purposely going
he's pushing the envelope for a reason.
Yeah.
The thing I will always give Mel Brooks is there's jokes. He treads the line. Well, no. He doesn't tread the line. He steps over the line and then shakes the line out with his hand to make sure no one can see it. With racism, misogyny, homophobia, whatever it is, he doesn't just tote the line. He crosses it and draws a line somewhere else.
Yeah.
But he does that in a way to oftentimes bring attention to stuff.
Yeah.
Often.
And that's the interesting thing about his stuff is that he's trying to draw attention to it. And that with this movie, I was like, okay, there are some things that make me feel uncomfortable.
Right.
Is he trying to draw attention to it?
Right.
Or is it just a
joke for joke's sake?
A joke that maybe we should not pay attention to. Like naming a character Falafel.
Right.
That one.
Or like the weird tuxedo he gives him, the chestless tuxedo.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, that kind of brings me into some of my other thoughts of like, there are, I think it was a lot of the race jokes,
right,
that were the ones that were like, in other movies, like in Blazing Saddles, like there was intention behind that. In this one, some of those didn't feel as like purposeful,
right?
Except like, hey, the name of the character was Azim, so let's name him a sneeze,
right?
And like play off of that,
right?
So, yeah.
You saying that, I think it lightens some of it for me, but I do think there is like a weird aspect to it where it almost feels as though he knows this is his last one. But I have that opinion, and I might be feeling a little light on that as we're talking, because there may be aspects of it that are just direct jokes to the Prince of Thieves.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had a burp. Sorry.
It's all right. Yeah, everybody knows.
He may be aiming to mock that movie. Let's see. It's PG-13. It's 2.5 ungodly hours. 2.5 ungodly hours.
It's 2.5 hours?
It's 2.5 hours.
Yikes.
Not Men in Tights. Men in Tights is a...
Oh, Prince of Thieves. Prince of Thieves is stupidly long.
Hour 44. Still a little long. There were definitely aspects where I was like, this movie could have ended already. We didn't need that joke.
I do think that it is... I think a lot of the things that you might like not have enjoyed this watch through are connected to the fact that it is a direct mockery of the other movie. So yeah, it's one of the few cases where I would recommend watching. We're probably going to watch it,
but funny trivia: Alan Rickman initially turned down the role of Sheriff of Nottingham twice before he could more or less have carte blanche with the interpretation of the character. So he was just like, no, I'm not going to do it. They're like, come on, we'll let you do, we'll let you kind of do it any way you want to do it. He's like, nah, I don't really want it. All right, you can for sure do it any way you want. Oh, okay. I think you got a deal.
Done.
I think we got something here. Oh my God. Stupid movie. I love that I was upset about whatever it is with this stupid thing, and now I'm more upset about Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Compared to Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, this is a great movie.
Yeah, you're kind of right.
And that's the thing. This is one that you have to watch it for what it is.
Yes.
It's not one
to
just be like,
I guess my point,
don't go and watch it as a Robin Hood movie. You have to watch it as like
a complete mockery of what they were what Prince of Thieves was trying to do.
Yeah.
I guess one of the so I think this movie in a lot of ways feels like Mel Brooks knows that he's kind of done. And so it feels like some of the jokes are just kind of like, remember when I put this in another movie? That's funny, right?
Yeah. That's like kind of what I was saying. Like it's all the best of moments.
In the castle, there's a scene where the women run into the one room, and there's like window shades, so you can see their cleavage and then their faces, and then the guy comes in and he's just clearly looking at that.
Yeah.
And that one is literally, the joke is, boobs. Boobs are funny, right? Old man looking at the boobs. It's funny.
I look at boobs when other things are happening.
There's just a lot of just like dumb, I guess you could say like toxic masculinity humor. That is just there to be there.
Yeah.
It doesn't, and it's hard to make too much of it, because the reality is Mel Brooks is an absurdist. Everything all his movies are absurd, and that's what makes it funny. But there's also things that it just feels like choices, because they're working so hard to make a mockery. I really didn't like how Cary Elwes played Robin. I didn't actually like that. I thought Richard Lewis was fantastic. I thought, even though he was just playing himself, he was just a fun addition to everything. Roger Rees was great. I love Amy Yasbeck. Like, I love her. I think she's a great actress and a great comedian. She's so annoying in this movie. And now we do have to watch Prince of Thieves, because I'm like, was Marion that annoying in that movie? Because they're making her act a certain way to mock the Marion.
Yeah.
But I don't remember it being that bad. She's just so annoying.
Yeah.
Let's just go through the character. Let's see. Mark Blankfield, he played Blinken. That's a hard character to like, because a lot of the jokes you're like, I don't know. But
right.
There's so much that it's like, I probably thought that was funny like 15 years ago. I don't think it's funny anymore. And then there are some jokes that he does where you're like, oh, I know he's blind, but that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle was such an odd. I think it was, Mel Brooks saw this comedian who is an up and coming comedian, really funny stand up, because he was doing stand up when he was like 17.
Right. And this was his first.
This was his first film. Motion. Yeah. So, I think in a lot of ways, comedians giving young comedians a chance, there were aspects that were very funny. And I think he did add improv to it or different things. But then it was just like, all right, how do we... I think the joke in itself of Achu as a character who is... I think Dave Chappelle grew up in New York. I might be wrong about that. I know he grew up in a metropolis city. But a young, urban, black kid... just plopped in medieval England.
Yeah.
That lends itself to a lot of jokes. Especially at that time, the Air Jordan, I think they were Air Jordans that you pump.
Yeah.
Like that joke in itself, that's...
I'm out.
Yeah. It's a great joke. Dave Chappelle, just his nuance to how he moves and how he talks, like even that timeout of like, timeout, like he's very funny in that. So he was just kind of that great addition. A sneeze, Isaac Hayes. Isaac Hayes is always fun. That felt almost like what is it called when like a movie star just pops into a movie?
A cameo.
That almost feels like a cameo.
Yeah.
Megan
Broomhilda.
Oh, Megan Kavanaugh. She played Broomhilda. That character is so friggin' funny and so weird. She's funny in how weird she is.
Yeah.
Just a very naive, but also overly protective chambermaid, I guess.
Yeah. Does that type of character exist in the other movie? I don't remember. I remember that character existing in the animated Robin Hood.
Like a Broomhilda type character?
The hen.
Oh yeah. Is that what it's called?
The chicken. But I don't know what her character's name was, but she was basically the maidservant. But I don't know if she existed in Prince of Thieves. We're really breaking our
that's
our
fine.
typical...
At this point, this movie is such a weird. I had a stroke watching it, man. I don't know. She's great. But I wanted to get to this. Little John, great. Eric Kramer, he was great. Matthew Peretta, Scarlett O'Hara, he was like one of my favorites. There was something about how he acted. Everything he did, his physicality, everything was very charming. And if you watch him in the musical number, The Men in Tights, he's so funny.
He's great.
I was laughing just because of him, just because of his physicality. And it's one of those things where I'm like, I don't actually really remember him from other movies. I know he's been in a lot, but I don't. Oh, interesting.
He's done a lot of voice acting recently.
Yeah. He was in the Alan Wake movies, the Alan Wake video games, which I think one of them won video game of the year. So like, wow. Oh, whoa, cool.
Whoa.
He was in Red Dead. Wow. You're right. Yeah, lots of voice acting.
He's done a lot of voice acting. Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay. Yeah.
Do we go back to the structure? Like I
don't know. We've really kind of.
I was about to say I really screwed the pooch on this, and then I realized there was some SNL person. I think it was Michael Che, where he said someone said that to him, and then it was the first time that he actually stopped, and he was like, for that thing to come up, someone had to screw a pooch, and that's a really weird thing to think about.
That's weird.
Alrighty. So sorry. Were you leading somewhere, or were you just?
No. I was gonna say, kind of go back to something that you said earlier, and kind of like going off of looking at all these actors and like what they did, and earlier you said that the script isn't really that funny, but it's the way that like people do it. I have this, like, the thing that I have written down is it's the delivery of the jokes,
right? Yeah,
that make them funny. On paper, I don't know if this movie's funny at all,
right?
But it's like the way. There are moments that are funny,
but even I would challenge that of like, if you look at the things that are supposed to be like scenically funny or like scenery, I don't actually know if there are a lot of those kinds of jokes that land. Like the cleavage joke, personally, I don't really think that lands.
No. But you know what does land? The screaming kid.
Oh my gosh, that kid is so funny. He knew what he got hired for, and he did it perfectly.
And then he's like, everything's okay. He's like, okay, I got to get home before the sun goes down.
The hangman hit how he fucked. I know, like, I would assume it has to do with maybe like the character got his tongue cut off or something like that, but he's just all over the place. Everything he does, I'm just like,
I love this character. Speaking of Mel Brooks pulling all of his best moments out of the bag for this movie is that character was the hangman in Blazing Saddles.
There you go. Yes.
For that actor.
That's why it was so funny, you know?
Yeah. I think sometimes some of the stupidest jokes in this were the funniest just because of the way that it's delivered. Specifically the
for example,
hey, I bet gets me every time.
It's like, God, I hate that guy.
It's so stupid.
I want to find the backstory on that because I feel like that character is in something else.
Yeah. Read.
Oh, did you find out?
I read, and I don't know if this is like fully what it's from, but apparently it's a callback to Abbott and Costello.
Oh, okay.
When Costello would want to get Abbott's attention, he would yell, "Hey, Abbott!" So apparently it's referencing that, but it's just
that's so funny.
Okay. As watching this time around, I've noticed so many more like references, like joke references that they're making. Like Will Scarlett O'Hara is like
Will Scarlett. But then Scarlett O'Hara.
Will Scarlett, but Scarlett O'Hara.
Yeah.
This is the first time that I realized that it's Robin of Locksley and Marion of Bagel and Rabbi Tuckman says Locksley and Bagel, bagel and locks is the joke.
Yeah.
And I've never gotten that joke until now.
Yeah. It's a good one. Or Rabbi Tuckman.
Yeah.
If I have to explain it, you shouldn't be watching it.
But it's a Friar Tuck joke.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Well, yes.
I know.
There's an innuendo there.
I know.
Okay.
We're
saving ourselves here.
I'm keeping it PG.
Well, I've ruined that.
Yeah.
Jesus. The Abbott, yeah. Hey, Abbott. I hate that guy.
The Tight Tights song, the Men in Tights song, is just such a delight.
Yeah. I cringe a little at the references to are you gay kind of thing. The rabbi asked, like, I cringe at all of that, but I also, now that we've been talking about it, I actually think that's a dig at Robin Hood, at Kevin Costner.
Because he refused to.
He refused to do it because he probably, like, knowing him, I'm making this assumption, allegedly, he'll never listen, so I don't really care. But I'm going to still say that. Allegedly, he didn't wear it because he's like, that's what gay guys do.
Yeah.
And they're literally making they're making the joke of.
They are literally making the joke.
Yeah, they are literally making the joke. Did I use it correctly? I used it correctly. Yeah, it's holy crap. Oh, it's cringe because it's cringe.
Yeah.
But now thinking about, holy crap, those are such good jokes.
Yeah, there's so many jokes that if you're just watching the movie by itself, you're like, whoa, why are they making that joke? But when you look at what they are parodying, mocking.
And who they're mocking.
And who, then it's like, oh, they put that joke in to jab at Kevin Costner. Do you need to go back and watch this movie again?
I think I need to watch Prince of Thieves and then rewatch Men in Tights because now really understanding how much they were digging at Kevin Costner, I think I might love this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Do I hate Kevin Costner? I think I do.
Do we need to do like
Um,
almost a reunion,
like a part 2?
Yeah.
No, here's what I would say. You don't have to do it.
Yeah.
Because I think you have a bit of this movie more in your head than you think. But I think the next movie we should watch is Prince of Thieves, just to get it out. And then I will watch it, and then we will have a segment at the end of that one of, Men in Tights Revisited, and kind of see how much of it is really clever digs at it, or just poorly jokes in poor taste.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Mel Brooks makes Jewish jokes.
Yeah.
As they would say, I'm trying not to say this with any inflection to offend any. He makes Jew jokes. He makes jokes about Jewish people. The Blinken, I'd like you to meet my friend Achu. A Jew here? He's like, no, not a Jew, a Chew.
Yeah.
That's a very Mel Brooks joke.
Yeah.
That is a very big joke there. But now I'm wondering how much of like the rabbi joke and some of these jokes are just digs at everything that they just wanted to mock Kevin Costner.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is a noble act. Man, I really hate that guy. Oh man, they did so many. Yeah, we're just skipping and
we're all over the place.
We're just
with
talking
this
about
one.
it, but just when they're trying to jump on the horse and they miss, and then they reference, man, white man can't jump.
What?
I have to say, if you, and this, I guess you could say a recommendation for this movie. If you are unaware of the Robin Hood Prince of Thieves, and you're unaware of like 80s and 90s, pre 1990 pop culture,
mm-hmm.
a lot of these jokes will not land.
There's a ton of pop culture references in this movie.
They make fun of The Godfather, at all mafia movies, basically.
Yeah.
They make fun of
Dirty Harry.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's so much. It's like almost impossible to like keep up with it.
Or when the it's not a reference per se, but when they're in the competition and the sheriff recognizes, he's like, the old man, that's Loxley. He's like, are you sure? He looks like Mark Twain. And then you look at him and you're like, it's friggin' Mark Twain.
It's Mark Twain.
It's Mark Twain.
I feel like I don't need to do this correction, or it's not a correction, but it's just more of like a historical fact.
Yeah.
King Richard awkwardly taking a kiss from Maid Marian before being wed. For those of you that don't know, is a reference to the rite of prima nocta, which was a historical thing where the king could have the first night with a bride to be. It was a gross practice. So a kiss,
and this is
why less gross.
This is why the monarchy is dumb. That's one reason. That's only one reason. Let's be honest. Yeah. I just pissed off the non-existent listener in England who is like a big fan of the monarchy.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that podcast until they started talking about the king. until they started speaking about the crown in that way.
Yeah.
And they're English, so I don't care about making fun of their. Oh man, just to, I know we talked about it. I don't. Yeah, because even when Mel Brooks as the rabbi uses the F slur in a comedic way, but it's still technically that. At that point, I will say in the 90s they were much more loose with it. It's still a slur. I don't even know.
Wait, does he say it?
Yeah, he says it with a fagoil or something like that. Like he says it in a way that you're supposed to understand what he's saying, but he doesn't actually say it.
I just looked up the quote because I wasn't sure if he was actually saying like that or not, but yeah.
Yeah, it is. But I think you could still make that joke and it still be a dig at Kevin Costner. Just get rid of the slur, and I think you could, like, even if he was just like men in tight, like, like you could have done that. Maybe I could be wrong. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. But my point in saying that is like the whole point is to point out that like someone made this connection that wearing tights is flamboyant in some way, shape, or form, or non-masculine, and in reality, that's just a stupid thing. Like, it's a stupid thing to think.
Yeah.
So now I'm like thinking back at all the things I wasn't a fan of, and I'm wondering if it's just a joke I missed. And that might be the case. So like I was gonna say, what are the things you didn't like? And now I'm kind of like, I don't know. I don't know if the things I didn't like are just things I didn't understand. And that's on me. That's not on them necessarily, because they are doing something specific. If I watch a movie and I didn't get it because a movie did a poor job of delivering its message, that's different. But this situation, I think, might be on me, and I'm gonna give them that.
Yeah, I think they
room.
successfully, for the most part, did what they set out to do.
Yeah, I think so too. I think if I was going to say anything long, there was some things that dragged, and it could have been about 15 minutes shorter, and it would have been great.
Would have been fine.
Yeah.
Something I was realizing while watching this is, in like the early 2000s, mid 2000s, there was very popular trend, and even into the tens, there was the trend of making the parody movie that made fun of like all the blockbuster hits from the last couple of years.
Right.
This in some ways feels a lot like that. Yeah. But instead of making a bunch of like, we're making fun of all of these movies, it's like we're making fun of this one movie.
Yeah.
It's like an early version of that kind of thing.
Which I feel, Spaceballs was that, but then Airplane was somewhere around that time, which I don't know if Airplane, maybe they were making fun of disaster movies. I don't know if there was a movie they were specifically making fun of.
Yeah.
But that's for another time. The point being is, there was like Scary Movie, which felt like the start of it, but now that you're talking about it, I think this may have been. It was the Airplane, and then Mel Brooks kind of did it with Spaceballs, and even Blazing Saddles to an extent, because they were being specifically making fun of spaghetti westerns.
Yeah.
And then Young Frankenstein was making fun of horror movies.
Oh, Young Frankenstein.
Did he invent?
I keep forgetting about that one.
Did he invent parody movies? I feel like that's not true, but
no. I think one last moment. It's not really a quote, but when Robin Hood sings his song, like they go behind the curtain, and it's like this romantic moment, and then he just like bursts out singing, and Maid Marian goes, "Oh,
yeah." Well, you know what's really funny is I think they're making fun of the 50s. There was like a 50s Robin Hood where he sings. And maybe it's not Robin Hood, but there's definitely one of like a Robin Hood-esque character where the character sings to the female lead,
Is it the one from the 30s?
Maybe, I don't know, but the joke in itself is how he's singing. So if you're not fully aware of like singing technique, that man is belting the entire song.
Yeah.
There is nothing graceful about how he is singing loud and in your face, and it is there are moments where it's very funny where they make her hair like blow because he's so loud. Yes, that song went a little too long, but all the jokes were very funny. Yeah,
Agreed.
just start like, huh? Yeah. We talked about characters, Dom DeLuise.
I think we did it. We just did it in a weird order.
So I was adopted, and my adopted dad, was born in 1920, and so I was given a lot of media that I don't feel a lot of millennials my age necessarily got. So I was watching 50s and 60s TV shows regularly, on purpose, not because there was nothing else to watch, but because that's what I was being given. And so I saw a lot of things with Dom DeLuise and Don Rickles and Dean Martin and the Rat Pack. And I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. Someone could come to find out that Dom DeLuise was a very complicated character as a person. I don't know. So I'm just taking it with a little bit of grain of salt. But I always find him to be everything I've ever seen him in. I've always felt he was really, really funny. Mm-hmm. And I thought he was such an excellent addition to the movie. Like everything he did, I thought was very, very funny. He was in it because he's a regular in Mel Brooks movies. Mm-hmm. He's in almost all of them. So there you go.
It's funny. It's definitely not the funniest line, but for some reason I quote it often and nobody gets what I'm quoting because it is such an obscure reference. When he takes the cotton balls out of his mouth and then he hands them to Filthy Luca. And Luca's like, I shall take these cotton balls with my hand and put them into my pocket. When people hand me things, I say that. And nobody ever gets it, and I chuckle to myself, and then I move on with my life.
Yes. Oh man. Everything in that weird thing is so funny. The weird lizard coming
Who decided that there should be a lizard in this scene?
I don't know. I think it's supposed to be because in what's it called?
The Godfather?
In The Godfather, doesn't he have a cat?
I think so.
Does he have an animal? So I think they just took he's like, I think your lizard's dead. No, he's just asleep. Oh man. It's such a weird, it is a weird thing. Oh yeah. Let's see. Hold on. Don Giovanni, if I may say so, your lizard looks limp. Yeah, will you get when you get to be my age? Oh, my lizard. There's so many, and it's it's a simple joke. It's a simple innuendo, but how he does it is so funny. I feel like you can just kind of like go through the quotes and just kind of remember the movie. Like Prince John's mole moving is such a good joke. That's great. I
have a mole?
I have a mole? I don't mean to be rude, but was your mole on the other side the other day. I have a mole. Does Alan Rickman have a mole in the movie?
I think it's a reference to something in that. Yeah.
Anyway,
I appreciate. Hey, Blinken, hold the reins. Did you say Abe Lincoln?
yeah. There was something. I'm sure it's written. But when he does the timeout and he's like, "Sorry guys, but I'm running out of air," and then he pumps him up and he's like, "Okay, hunkies, time in." Like when he said that, I don't know why that caught me off guard because I heard a comedian talking about this, and he was trying to say like they're really horribly insensitive and offensive words for most everyone, but for like white people, a lot of the words are just kind of funny. Mm-hmm. And then, was it Tom Segura? Maybe it was Tom Segura, but he was talking about honkies, and he was like, "I want someone to call me a honky." It's just a funny honky. Oh man! Alrighty. Yeah, you got any other quotes? Any other things? We talked about people we like.
I think we're good.
I think we're talking
good.
about Bagel and Loxley. We're good. We're good. All right. All right. This is the part of the show where we wrap it up. Anyway, it's the review rewind where we take a look at a positive review and a negative review, and we see where we fall. I think because so many of these have been so long that we're just like zooming through this one. Yeah. And like, we're doing something wrong. So this movie was not well received. I have that written as well received. It is not. Metacritic 44%, Rotten Tomatoes 42%. Tomato audience 81%, and then IMDb audience, which I think is maybe, for some movies, I feel like can be a more accurate depiction of it, is 6.7. It depends on what it is, and I say that this is slightly off. IMDb, if it is a movie where it is challenging masculinity in any way, shape, or form, it's going to be skewed. Yeah. Men love to complain on that website, yes, but I feel like this one is kind of accurate to the general public. Like, it definitely has people who like it, but it definitely has people who don't. Alrighty, why don't you read the positive review?
San Francisco Chronicle gave it a 100. Mel Brooks has made a movie that's completely free and spontaneous, which at the same time is not in any way lazy or sloppy.
Gosh, I thoroughly disagree with that. I'm looking back at jokes, but there's a lot of lazy and sloppy in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I know I said earlier that this is one of my favorites of his stuff. I think I agree with you that it's not his best work.
Oh, yeah. This is not his best at all.
Because it's the one that I've seen the most, it is my favorite.
Yeah. All right. The Seattle Times gave it a 25%. With his inspiration trapped in a time warp 2 decades old, Brooks' humor reminds you of the annoying uncle who would repeat ancient jokes at family gatherings. You smile politely, but you wish he'd just go away.
This person did not like Mel Brooks after the 70s.
No. This person got woke. I don't. You know what? For this movie in particular, I don't know if I disagree with their sentiment. Mm-hmm. Some of the jokes were like dated jokes of just, like your uncle, not yours, but an uncle has that one misogynistic joke from like 30 years ago that they tell every year, and you're just like,
yeah. It's like, oh no. And like when you bring your significant other over for the first time and you're like, hey, just so you know, Uncle Bobby's going to tell you this joke, and it's just like, just laugh and move on.
I promise you, no one thinks it's funny, but if you make a big deal about it, it's going to get ugly.
Yeah. 2 years ago.
He's been divorced for 15 years and he's just been holding on to it. I don't know what to tell you. Alrighty. So we're not grading on 100, but we're pretty close. What would you give it as far as a grade?
Because I hold it in such a nostalgic place and it didn't offend me too much, I gave it an A-. Because I just like it too much, and I think I don't know if that's a good grade, because it's like I think there's probably things wrong with this that I shouldn't give it, and I know you gave it something horrible, but now you're questioning it.
I didn't give it anything horrible. If anything, our conversations have propped it up 1 point.
Okay. What'd you give it?
I gave it a 69.
Nice.
No. But I think with our conversation, I would give it that extra point and put it at 70 as like a C minus, kind of thing. Because there's still a lot of funny things in this. There were definitely points where, because when I watch the movie, sometimes Krista's reading or whatever, so I'll have my headphones in, and I'm just laughing. I was just laughing, and Krista had to like get my attention. She's like, "You gonna keep doing this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know.
I'm watching a movie.
Get off my back."
I think this is one where you need to put like a little notation next to my grade of this is like highly biased in in the thinking. But yeah, I don't know why this one didn't offend in the same way that other ones have, where it's like, oh yeah, I used to like really like this movie and now I'm a little bit more wise to it.
Yeah. So
I don't know. I'm happy with the finding that average of a B- between your grade and my grade.
Even with that nostalgia, that grade is so high.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
I said, like, I wrote it down and I was like, this feels high.
Yeah.
Which is weird because I feel like I don't give A's.
This is one of the situations where like it's at the end of the semester and you've put the grades in and like the principal goes like, I read that paper.
Yeah.
Is there a little bit of favoritism going on here? It's like, he's my cousin, I'm just trying to help my aunt out,
Yeah. So, yeah, I just like, I'm aware of it. I'm aware that the grade that I'm giving it is
crazy,
is very skewed.
You know what? You do you, dude.
I just feel like in the past with everything else we've watched, I've done a pretty good job of not being biased about my grading scale.
Yeah.
This one made it through.
Yeah. I feel like I've given less A's than you have.
Really?
I feel like I'm pretty strict. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't remember movies I've given an A to.
I'm all over the place.
Empire Strikes Back. That's about the only one I think I've really given an A to. Oh my gosh, an A. That's crazy.
But like a low A.
A low A, like a regrettable A.
Yeah, an A that I know it doesn't deserve.
Yeah. This reminds me of a line when Robin meets up with a Chew after he freed him from the hangman, and he goes, "Nice shooting a Chew," and a Chew goes, "To tell you the truth, I was aiming for the hangman."
Yeah.
I feel like you were aiming for the hangman.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, we're gonna kill ourselves and watch Prince of Thieves. And then we will tell you, just an excuse to just complain about Kevin Costner. I think I'm going to change this to Kevin Costner's a piece of crap podcast. Or not. I don't know if we're going to do that. Anyway, Listeners, keep reviewing your rewinds, and we'll see you next time. You like that space? I was really scared. I forgot it.
Yeah.